friends, happy 2021. It's a new year and the same old Grandpa Humbke still in Edmonton for the 7th straight year. Fanny, Carrie, and I are all staying at home and still enjoying life while COVID-19 still has a tight grip on our daily activities. Hopefully you too are making the best of it. What else can we do? 3 weeks ago, I left off when my mother, Marvelyn Vanook Humbke, had gone into the registrar's office at the University of Alberta to register me in an engineering program. I was totally devastated when she returned to say that engineering was just too long of a program. But I was incredibly lucky because there was a 1-year Junior E program and she had enrolled me plus paid the tuition fee. I asked, "What's a Junior E program?" And she replied that the university was running this program for 1 more year to train emergency teachers for the many jobs that were available in Alberta. My dad's 3 older sisters, Erna, Elsie, and Martha, had all attended the same program in Camrose, Alberta, the town closest to our farm, and were successful teachers. So he readily agreed that it was a good idea. My parents would pay the tuition and go across the street to arrange for me to room and board at St. Joseph College. All I had to do was attend classes, behave myself, and not run away anymore. I had just turned 17 and was nearly an adult. As much as I disliked most teachers, most of them disliked me even more, I was totally overwhelmed that I would be living in the center of a modern city with all its attractions. Despite the embarrassment I would feel when I had to tell my buddies that I, the worst behaved kid in school, was going to be joining our enemy's camp. I agreed after my mother pointed out that I would be working a year from now and could save up my money to return to university and take engineering. Little did I know what life had in store for me. That first year away from the isolation of the farm was fantastic. During Frosh Week, September 1960, I ran wild, exploring the day and night life of Edmonton. I remember the first Monday morning I was exploring Jasper Avenue, the main street, and ran across a woman cleaning the windows of the Paramount Theatre and asked her what time the show started. She told me it opened at noon and that I could watch the movie more than once if I paid 1 admission. I was so starved for electronic information, I entered and watched John Wayne in the Alamo plus newsreels and cartoons 5 times before returning to my room in St. Joseph College after the theater closed for the day. I was totally satiated with visual auditory stimulation that has lasted a lifetime. I now never watch a movie more than once on the same day. I took advantage of all the university facilities and learned skills that would last a lifetime. Swimming and diving, ballroom dancing, billiards, intervarsity hockey, and fast-pitch softball. Usually I would hitchhike home every couple of months to tell my brothers and buddies what an absolutely wonderful time I was having. I must confess that I was extremely late maturing physically and had a couple of 15-year-old grade 9 so-called girlfriends in Edmonton who were more mature than me. If I could afford it, I would take them to shows at the Paramount Theater and manage to get a kiss or two. Life was so good. As for my Junior E program, I did some serious all-night studying in the Rutherford Library and managed to squeak by and become a certified teacher of all subjects, grades 1 to 9. The educational philosophy at the time required that a teacher be proficient in all subjects. So we had classes all day and all Saturday mornings. I ended up knowing all the rules and able to play volleyball, basketball, as well as play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the recorder. Of course, we also had to learn how to teach the subjects: language arts, social studies, math, and science. Financially, I had received a $200 bursary from the Camrose School Division, for which I would have to teach 2 years in Edinburgh, Alberta. And I did take another Canadian student loan. I also did odd jobs like demolition and put all the money in the Toronto Dominion Bank, where I bought penny mining stock with the dream of becoming super rich. My investment career has been either extremely good or devastatingly bad. But after 60 years of playing in penny stocks, I still am. I am satisfied with what I have achieved. Upon finishing the Junior E program, I immediately started teaching 30 grade 8 students in Balf, Alberta, whose teacher had suddenly quit. I was scared silly as the kids seemed as big as me, and 1 or 2 were my age or more mature. I found out that I had caused more trouble in my school days than any one of them, and I could easily control the class. It seemed as if I knew what naughty children were going to do. I was determined that my students were going to learn and worked extremely hard to make that happen. At the same time, I wanted to enjoy life and continued with my adventures. While in Balf, I also worked for Gordon Mayhew, manager of the local beaver lumber yard, and even looked after the place when Gordon and Anna took a short holiday. What I most remember about that lumber yard was Wednesday mornings when a truck would arrive from Edmonton with 580-pound bags of cement to be unloaded. The driver, a large man, would stand on the truck's trailer and push 2 bags at a time to the edge, where I had to take them and stagger into our warehouse about 25 feet away. I do not know how I managed to carry more than my own weight, but I do remember Gordon giving me Wednesday afternoons off and me going home to bed for a couple of hours. At the same time, I was staying with the Mayhews and thoroughly enjoying Anna's cooking and Irish hospitality. Their daughter, Judy, was the first girl I ever took home to have dinner and meet my parents. My dad had bought me a brand new 1961 Black Beetle for $1,800 so I could go to work. I drove as recklessly as I always had, and it was in my first accident just 3 months later in Camrose when I was gawking at a girl walking down the sidewalk and was hit head on while making a left-hand turn. I couldn't face my dad and once again ran away, hitchhiking to Calgary for a few days. Sheepishly, I returned home and took my punishment and had the Beetle fixed so I could start my full-time job as a teacher. I had totally forgot about being a pilot, was growing physically, and I was a successful teacher. But I still had a long way to go. 1961-63 was to bring even more radical changes and excitement than I had ever believed possible. Your comments are very encouraging, and they bring back a lot of joyful memories that I look forward to sharing with you all. Stay safe and protect your health. I will be back again on January the 12th to describe my first full year as a teacher of 26 grade 8 students in the farming community of Edinburgh, Alberta. What a blast it was. Bye-bye for now.